and how it benefits the corporates which I
Organization.
work in.
Yeah. Okay. So, how did this whole thing start about? Because, let's say in the early part of your career, you got into engineering, which was not very common for young women to do in those days. So, can you go back to where you started and how this whole journey began?
Yeah, so it's a very funny story. My parents wanted me to become a doctor. And
Yeah.
in fact, my
Like all parents do.
like all parents, they wanted me to be a doctor, and I had zero
Yeah.
interest in medicine. And I was forced to give all the competitive exams for medicine and all, and I flunked to the core as such. So it was proven that that's not the right place for me. Then I was finally, when I flunked in the medical exams which were there, I really expressed my need to become an engineer. My father was also an engineer, so he supported
Okay.
me. And after doing my engineering, uh, it was like, what line? So what line do you want to go? Civil is too tough for women. The electronics, I did it in electronics, so even electronics is a little difficult for women. Field jobs and all of that. I said, okay, fine, let me just get in and then I'll find my place out. So my father suggested you get into software development because that's getting into a very upcoming industry. And those days, there were those big mainframes and all that. And I was not very keen on working on mainframes and such things. So again, I had a little bit of a resistance there. But then finally, when I got some opportunities around, I got my first job in a company called DPS in Calcutta. And I really had the advantage of being working with a very senior person who was actually a role model in the industry. He had a small setup within DPS, and we were doing things from the hardware stuff to the software stuff and everything, almost everything. And he was the solutions man. Basically, people would just go to him, any problem, people used to go to him, and his name was Mr. Matthew. People used to go to him, Mr. Matthew, this is my problem, can you just help me out? And for the hardware stuff, he used to pick up all his tools and get and sit and do things. He would do it himself, all himself. And we used to be just watching him and saying, my God, what a wonderful knowledge he has. Wish we also get that type of knowledge in our career.
Right.
And actually that really inspired us. And so right from what we learned in college, working on micro assemblers, and programming on micro assemblers, to finally, we did in colleges, we did it in those micro assembler kits. And I said, my God, doing our work in those micro assembler kits would be like taking ages to do it. But then when we went into Mr. Matthews' company, we it we had, of course, very sophisticated stuff there. And programming was, though it was low level assembly language programming, but it was on proper machines as such, and we could do a lot more things there. That was really very exciting to see